The Big Bang Theory made Melissa Rauch a household name, but it wasn't easy to get there. And in many ways, it hasn't been easy for the star since. Getting a role is only part of the struggle as an actor in Hollywood. You could land a role in a pilot, but the series might not be picked up. The first series Melissa Rauch landed a recurring role in was HBO's 12 Miles of Bad Road. Rauch was cast as Bethany and had the privilege of co-starring with comedy legend Lily Tomlin in 3 episodes of the series. Unfortunately, the series was axed during its first and only season after only 6 episodes. After the disappointment of her first series being canceled, Rauch landed another recurring role on the American adaptation of Kath and Kim, an American spin on a hit Australian sitcom about a very dysfunctional mother-daughter duo. Rauch was cast as Kim's best friend Tina and featured in 6 episodes of the series. Unfortunately, the series was canceled after only 17 episodes, leaving Rauch out of another job. While starring in The Big Bang Theory, Rauch experienced the pain of a miscarriage and struggled with her fertility. The actor only revealed her heartbreaking experience after she was pregnant again in a personal essay for Glamour. Rauch wrote, "During the time when I was grieving over my pregnancy loss or struggling with fertility issues, every joyful, expectant baby announcement felt like a tiny stab in the heart. It's not that I wasn't happy for these people, but I would think, why are these shiny, carefree, fertile women so easily able to do what I cannot?" Rauch suffered one of the most painful experiences of her lifetime in silence because miscarriages are something women have traditionally not spoken openly about. Even doctors advise against expectant mothers announcing their pregnancy too soon. When Rauch pondered how she would share her pregnancy with fans, it was important for her to acknowledge the loss that had preceded this pregnancy. Rauch wrote in Glamour, "It felt a bit disingenuous to not also share the struggle it took for me to get here." Although Rauch wrote that she doesn't think anyone should feel pressured to share their personal struggles, she wrote that she couldn't help thinking about the women who had also experienced a miscarriage reading about her happy news and how that might make them feel as she had once felt. From this empathy and concern, Rauch was able to bravely share her pain. After her miscarriage, Rauch said she experienced a bout of unrelenting depression. She wrote in Glamour, "The miscarriage I experienced was one of the most profound sorrows I have ever felt in my life. It kick-started a primal depression that lingered in me. The image of our baby on the ultrasound monitor, without movement, without a heartbeat, after we had seen that same little heart healthy and flickering just 2 weeks prior, completely blindsided us and haunts me to this day." Not only was Rauch mourning the loss of a child she had desperately wanted, but she also said her hormones were out of whack, writing, "In addition to the intense grief, the hormonal drop-off is something I was not prepared for in the least. I wish I had known that this physiological response is an extremely prevalent and real component of pregnancy loss." She wrote the essay to not only share her experiences with her miscarriage, but to hopefully reassure other women going through similar grief that they are not alone.
Can't help wanting more time.
When Rauch got pregnant a second time, she said she was afraid she might miscarry again. Although this fear robbed joy from her early pregnancy, it also emboldened Rauch to write that personal essay for Glamour reflecting on her miscarriage. With this essay, the actor advocated for speaking openly about miscarriage, which became all the more relevant as Bernadette entered motherhood herself in The Big Bang Theory Season 10.
I'm pregnant! Oh my God!
In her essay, Rauch wrote about how the stigma of pregnancy loss had a devastating effect on her ability to mourn and heal emotionally from her miscarriage, saying, "What I realized, though, is that because this kind of loss is not openly talked about nearly as much as it should be, there really is no template for how to process these emotions." Rauch's miscarriage and what happened after she shared about her loss inspired Rauch to team up with other celebrities to combat the stigma around talking about pregnancy loss. Glamour released a PSA during Pregnancy and Infant Loss Awareness Month, where many women shared their stories so others wouldn't feel so alone. In another essay for the outlet, Rauch explained why she made the video, stating, "I was so moved by how many people reached out to share stories of their loss and heartbreak. It was from this beautiful outpouring of openness, candor, and courage offered by all of these kindred spirits that I began to heal a part of me that I didn't know was still in need of repair." Rauch's second pregnancy wasn't without its challenges. Rauch said she spent much of her pregnancy worrying about how giving birth during a pandemic would play out. She wrote for Glamour, "In the weeks leading up to my due date, I had been so fearful of how this would all go down. I'd had good days where I'd felt optimistic, I can do this, and other days of complete, what kind of fresh hell are we living in panic." Rauch gave birth solo during the early days of the pandemic, while her husband Winston Rauch stayed home with their daughter. Their family couldn't come to babysit as they had originally planned because of the coronavirus pandemic. Despite Rauch's concerns about exposure to the virus, she said the staff's diligent work set her mind at ease, adding, I will forever be in awe of our medical professionals on the front lines. My anxiety over being in a hospital melted away as each of them shared with me how hypervigilant they are in order to keep mamas and babies safe.